Hi, it's Sandy, and today I'm bringing you the Finally Fall book tag. So we are getting into the autumn. I think we're kind of decently into the autumn now. It's October. The temperatures finally started to go down. It really hung on to the heat for a while. Like, it really hung on to the heat. But it is now fully October. It is fully cold outside. I think it's actually like the weather's kind of like skipping the sort of autumny weather, just going straight to winter. But hey ho, it could come up again. But autumn, it is autumn. It is time for the change of seasons. The leaves are coming down. I am terrified that my wheels are just gonna on the leaves. So yeah, we'll say it's autumn. Now for this tag, I don't know who the original person was that created this tag, because I'm not even kidding, I looked at like a dozen videos, and of everybody who tagged the creator, they just tagged original creator, and then they said, I'll tag the original creator down in the description. But their channel doesn't exist anymore. It just goes to a blank page, like a blank, not even like a blank page where it's like still the detail, like it is just click on it and it's like, sorry, there was an issue with this link. So I would love to tag the original creator. If anybody knows who it is, please let me know, but I cannot for the life of me find who this original creator is. We've got 10 questions for this, so I am just going to dive right in. Question 1 is, in autumn, the air is clean and crisp. What is a book that has a vivid setting? For this, I had to. I cannot have been going on about this series for this long and going on about how incredible the writing and the setting and everything is without using this for this question. And that is The Casket Girls by Alice Arden. I've said it time and time again, you're probably sick of hearing me talk about it, but Alice Arden has a way of writing New Orleans that makes even me able to see what's going on. Like, I have aphantasia. I can't imagine things. I can imagine things I've seen before. So like if you ask me to imagine an apple, I can imagine a memory of an apple. Like, I could pull a memory of what an apple looks like of one that I've actually seen. So like it's always going to be a Granny Smith or a Gala apple, because those are the kinds of apples we eat. I couldn't pull up like, or one of those like American movie apples, like, but just like an abstract apple, I can't do it. But this is so vivid that even I can sort of make up something. It's cartoonish, it's kind of in this style, but there's something there. But as well, it's not just being able to imagine the sights, but I always say this is so visceral that you can smell it. Like, I can almost smell it and taste the air, and like, it's so visceral, this book. Now, this book is set after a Katrina-like hurricane. It's not named as Katrina, but it is based on Katrina and other hurricanes. Basically, hurricane hits, the levees break, and New Orleans is flooded, which is exactly what happened during Katrina. But the author decided not to name it, just called it the storm, the hurricane, etc. And so the area has been completely flooded. And this is when our main character goes back, and there's another character who works with FEMA, and they are going into houses that have been closed up in the moist heat for months. And so like they're opening these doors or these windows, and it's just the smell is hitting them, getting into the back of their throat. They're finding people who didn't manage to escape, who again have been sitting in the moist and the hot, because it's in the south, and obviously everything got flooded, everything got soaked. I can't imagine the smell. Like, I can't imagine what it'd be like generally, but like, I don't know how else to explain this. I can feel it when I'm reading this book, and I've never felt like that reading a book before. I just think this series is unparalleled when it comes to its setting. Question 2. Nature is beautiful, but it's also dying. Name a book that is written beautifully, but also deals with heavy topics like death or grief. So for this, I've chosen If Only by Melanie Murphy. This book is written so beautifully. Like, I love Melanie's prose, and at the same time, it also is dealing with lots of different types of grief. So there is grief from losing a family member, there is grief from losing an old life, a relationship. Like, basically this character is in a horrible rock bottom situation. She is away from home. She has just lost her boyfriend. She's just lost her job. Like, everything is going completely wrong. And then on top of that, she loses a family member as well. Like, this is not a happy start to a book. And throughout, it is one of those not quite Groundhog Day, that's not the right thing. It's in the title, If Only. She has this necklace that allows her to ask a question. It's like, if only I'd done this, or if only I'd taken this job instead of this job, if only I'd said yes to this date, if only I'd done that, and it takes her to like it shows her like the alternate universe, and she lives the alternate universe for a little while of what would have happened, kind of like sliding doors, and through that she kind of works on and works through her grief. It's like The Midnight Library, but also not, because she doesn't, the start is very different. But yeah, it deals with a lot of different types of grief, which I think is really, it just is so interesting, and I really enjoyed it. Number 3, Autumn is Back to School Time, a name a non-fiction that taught you something new. And for that, I've pulled A Brief History of Black Holes by Dr. Becky Smithurst. Not only has this taught me stuff that I never knew before, I didn't really know anything about black holes other than the fact that they were a singularity, like a point where like there's intense gravity, so intense that light couldn't escape. But beyond that, I didn't really know much about, like, physics is not my thing, astrophysics is not my thing, but I've been watching Dr. Becky on YouTube. I'll link her channel below, but this book, I just found it so interesting and so easy to digest. It is very brief, like it says, it is a brief history of black holes, but there's something about Becky's cadence when she speaks and writes that just makes things so much more digestible, so much more easy to understand, and actually engaging when you're learning. So this is a subject that has not no interest for me. Like, I like the side of it where it's like, oh, amazing black hole, like stars, nebula, like cool stuff. But once you get down to the physics of it is where you lose me. And yet I love watching Dr. Becky's channel and love reading this book. Do I understand it? Not really, but I understand it more now than I did before. So yeah, I really enjoyed this and think it's really valuable if you want to learn more about black holes and astrophysics. Number 4, in order to keep warm, it's important to spend time with people you love. Who is a fictional friend or family group that you'd want to be a part of? I dithered on a couple options for this, but I finally decided to go with my immediate gut reaction, and that is the Bergmans. You can see my Bergman Brothers series back here as well. I love the Bergmans. This is one of those like incredibly nutty big families. There are 7 kids and then mum and dad. The mum and dad love each other the same as they did when they first met. Like, they are still ridiculously, disgustingly in love, and that model of love has been shown to the kids. And so the kids, kids, they're all adults. The youngest one's like 25. So as you're going through this, like, they are looking for and they want that kind of love. And that's I love the series with all of my heart, and I love the Bergmans, and I just want to go out to family dinner. I just want to meet the Bergmans. I would just absolutely love to be in that friend and family group. Number 5, the colourful leaves are stacking up. Show us an autumn themed book stack. So, I could just like pull this and show you, but I have pulled together some books that I think are autumnal leafy coloured, and I'm very proud of it. Thank you very much. It is continuing to slip though, which is really quite annoying, but look at that. Look at that beautiful autumnally coloured stack of books. Number 6, autumn is the perfect time to share stories by the fireside. What's your favourite book where someone is telling a story? Now for this, I've gone for a book that is written in letter format. So I thought it was confessional. Most other people say it's letter format, but it is most definitely someone telling a story. I'll show you what it is. It is A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. This book is written in second person as well, so it's actively like someone is telling a story. Like you. Like, it's not for everybody, but this book just I love this so much. Even just the first paragraph of like the very start of it. I never dreamed it would end like this, my lord. Your blood splashing hot flakes onto my nightgown and pouring in rivulets onto our bedchamber floor. But creatures like us live a long time. There is no horror left in this world that can surprise me. Eventually, even your death becomes its own sort of inevitability. Like, this is like literally like she's telling the story of what happened, and it's coming from the character, but it's told in second person, so she's always saying, you did this, you. Like, it's so, I loved it. I thought this was so, it just drew me in so much. I absolutely loved it. It's still one of the top books I've ever read. Number 7, The Nights Are Getting Darker. Share a dark and creepy read. I knew exactly what book I was going to choose for this the minute I read the prompt, and I know someone who's going to be very happy about this. And the book is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. This book is like the epitome of dark and creepy. I love this. This is one of my favourite classics ever. It is just an absolute masterpiece. It is so atmospheric and spooky and creepy and dark and just, oh my god, if you've never read the original Frankenstein, I really highly recommend it. And the audiobook, there's an audiobook for this that's like kind of slightly graphic audiobook, not in that it's like graphically violent, I just mean like you hear sounds of different things in the background as well as like the narrator talking to you. But this is available as part of like an Audible Plus subscription. Like, you don't need to spend a credit on it, so if you have Audible, it is available there, and according to Jem, it is a really good audiobook. I don't know if that's the one I listened to or not, I would need to go check, but the one I listened to was part of like a 3-part thing with Dracula and Jekyll and Hyde, so I'm not sure if it's the same audiobook or not. But because it's a classic and it's in the realm of like whatever it's called, it's not got anything like, I can't remember the word for it, but basically like the license is up, and so the audiobook is free on Audible if you have like a Plus membership, which I know isn't free, but like you don't need to spend a credit on it, and it's probably somewhere on like YouTube or something. Anyway, yes, dark and spooky, dark and creepy, just yes, atmosphere. Number 8, The Days Are Getting Colder. Name a comforting and heartwarming book that might brighten up someone's cold and rainy day. Now, there is again something that was the first thing I thought about when I read that prompt, and that is Harster by Alice Oseman. This is my tabbed version, and I specifically picked up my tabbed version for a reason. Like, the tabs are rubbish, not gonna lie, because it's been squished in the bookshelf, but each of these tabs is like a heartwarming or just bit that makes me feel happy. Like, even just this, I read that and I'm just like like I see it and I'm like, oh my god, like it's starting again, like because I've reread it so many times. But each of these tabs is a page that I can flick to, either bits that I think are especially poignant or bits that I think are especially heartwarming. And this just, honestly, I absolutely love Heartstopper. We all know this, but especially the first couple of volumes, and especially the very first volume, it's just the most heartwarming thing, and Nick and Charlie will forever just live in my heart. Number 9, Autumn returns every year. What is an old favourite you like to return to? I think most of you are going to guess what this is. If you want to have a go at guessing, pause the video and write down below what you think this book is going to be. A favourite that you'd like to return to. So now that hopefully you've guessed, I'm going to show you the book, and that's of course The Martian by Andy Weir. I probably wouldn't read this specific version, or this specific edition. I would most likely read my paperback edition, which is a little bit worse for wear because I've read it so many times. I love The Martian. Like, if there's one book that people know that I love, it is The Martian, and obviously Heartstopper, but oh my god, do I love The Martian. There's just something about the way Andy Weir writes and the character of Mark Watney. I rewatched the movie a lot. I've read this book like several times in a year. It's not quite Becca's Love Hypothesis numbers, but I have reread this book so many times because I just love Mark. I love Mark Watney. I think he's an excellent character. I think he's hilariously like funny with his acerbic sense of humour and the way he copes with things and the sarcasm, and it just really is one of my favourite books ever, and I am so happy to continue to return to this book. And finally, number 10, autumn is the perfect time for cosy reading nights. What are some of your favourite cosy accessories? So number 1 has got to be a blanket. I cannot survive without sitting with a blanket. I'm always cold. Even in the summer I sit with a blanket. Maybe a lighter blanket, but a blanket nonetheless, because I like to be cosy. I like to have my legs covered. I just like that like nice cosy feeling. I even have a heated blanket, which is great because it keeps me nice and cosy. And again, people who know me know that I always have a cup of tea. I don't have one right now because I didn't want to bring it all the way upstairs, but I love tea. Like I drink tea so much, and I just mean like breakfast tea. I'm not like a tea aficionado, but I will drink several cups of tea during the day, to the point where my doctor's been like, maybe switch to decaf, and I'm like, no. So yeah, tea, hot chocolate. I do like a hot chocolate with whipped cream on top, squishy cream, a blanket, and yeah, it's kind of just, that's what I look forward to having when I come in and want to have a little cosy reading time. So there we go, there is the Finally Fall book tag. If you want to do this, feel free. Again, there's no prompt to tag anybody, but if you want to do it, here you go, off you go, tag, you are it. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to let me know you were here, if you leave me some kind of autumn related emoji, fall related emoji down in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!